Hey everyone, welcome to the Creator Show. This is your host, Ruben Drieger, and I am beyond excited. We have a special guest on today, and we're going to be diving through some very specific, basically business tactics on a platform that we actually haven't talked about really at all on this podcast. So I'm really excited about it. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty of it all, I want to introduce you to the girl, Jessica, the amazing person, who's actually going to be sharing all this stuff with us. So Jess, share with us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then we're going to dive into your journey a little bit.
Hey everyone. First off, Ruben, thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited to be talking all things business with you guys. So I am an online business coach for coaches, and I specialize in social media and YouTube for traffic.
Okay, perfect. This is awesome. And a lot of you guys know, I've talked so much on here about a lot of probably more of the main platforms that I've been familiar with as far as Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn has been kind of the areas that I've talked a lot about. And I thought it'd be really cool to have someone on that talked about a bit of a different channel. And the main reason, Jess, I'm actually excited about having you on is because one of the biggest things for me is when I'm basically advising people on platform, I'm often trying to figure out kind of what they're good at, their zone of genius. And I know there's a lot of people who honestly just love creating video content. And of course, being the biggest platform out there, YouTube's a really great thing. So we're going to dive into that. I'm getting ahead of myself, but share with everyone a little bit of your entrepreneur journey, maybe like the 2-minute version of like when you got it started to where you are right now. Because one of the reasons I love to dive into these is because everyone listening is either starting that journey, wants to start that journey, on the journey. And so that's going to be helpful for a lot of people. So let's dive into that.
Yeah, so if we rewind time a few years ago, I was working in door-to-door sales, and I was out selling alarm systems in San Antonio, Texas.
Nice.
And I realized that I wanted something different. I was making good money, but I felt like I was really trapped in that job. And yeah, so I started looking online to get into some type of online business. And it's interesting because first thing I did was I went onto YouTube and I searched how to make money online. And
there you go.
What I found was a bunch of videos on Amazon and drop shipping. And I ended up investing into an Amazon course with a guy named Kevin David, who I later ended up working directly with as his assistant.
There you go.
So with him, I helped him grow his channel. He has almost 1 million. Actually, I think he has over 1 million subscribers now.
He's big. He's really big.
Yeah, he's huge. So I worked directly with him. I worked on his YouTube channel, helping him grow that. And then one day I realized I was once again slaving away for someone else's dream. And so I pulled the plug. I quit that job, which everyone told me I was crazy, that I should stay with him and he was going to, do big things. And he did. He's, taught me so much. But from that, things that I learned, I took that and I launched my first online business, and I was teaching e-commerce because I had learned so much from him about dropshipping and Amazon. So I started teaching that on YouTube, and my first video went viral. And then once again found myself, and I was like, this just isn't it. There's something that's not
Totally.
right here. So it didn't feel authentic to me. It felt like I was, again, I was doing the entrepreneur thing. I was making money. But I wasn't happy. And I thought that, having that business and being able to do that was going to make me happy. And so I quit that business, went away, jumped on a one-way plane ticket to Indonesia, and ended up finding coaching there. I'd never heard of it. That first year, I started my coaching business with all the stuff that I had learned along the way. And within that first 6 months, I had scaled my business to multiple 6 figures, and I've been growing ever since.
That's awesome. Absolutely love that. Great story. And there's a couple points in there, right? I want to dive actually into one of the big points, which is you kept on, and I see this with entrepreneurs a lot, because I think a lot of us, we're trying to find that thing. And there's a lot of things that we try along the way. And a lot of new entrepreneurs feel bad because their families tell them, hey, you're like not committed to something. You're not loyal. You're not like being consistent with something, because they're trying to figure it out. And so do you have any, I don't know if that's something you heard from friends, families, or whatever it is, but people that are going through that and they're like, I feel like I just keep trying stuff and there's a lot of dead ends. What do you say to those people? Is there a way out? Should they keep on going? What's your advice on that?
Yeah, so I think there's a fine line between quitting something because, it's too hard and you're not getting results, and quitting something because you know that it's not your thing.
Mm.
And, for a very long time, I used to preach this, like, start with passion, start with something you love. And in a sense, I do still believe in that. I think that there's guidelines to that. I think you should try to build something in an evergreen market that is always going to be profitable, but you should have either a passion, some type of experience, a love for what you do in some sense, or eventually, once you have met all your financial needs, you'll find yourself at a stopping point because you no longer have a drive to keep going. And I think if you have some type of something there, passion, it's excitement, it's love, you'll keep going, and you'll be able to actually see more success in the long term.
I think that's really good. You touched on something we see a lot, which is usually when people hit, whether it's a 6-figure run rate or around that 10K per month mark, a lot of people actually stay stuck there. And it's not necessarily because they don't know how to get past that point, or they don't know someone who can help them get past that point. I think a lot of them, and we've talked about this before on this podcast, they're like an arm's length away from pain and from the life that they didn't want. But they truly don't know which direction they want to run. And so they keep on living this life, just I'm a hand's length away from pain, but I don't know where I want to go. I don't know where to run so that I never have to deal with that again. And so I think there's a couple points there. You talked about passion, something that truly gets you excited. And actually, I had someone on a show just the other day, and they were talking about how this is one of the biggest keys for entrepreneurs, is actually asking themselves the question, what do I truly want? Because society tries to tell you what you should want. You should want this kind of job, this kind of family, this kind of dog, da 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 da. You should try, like, they try to basically build the life for you. And so actually, to that point, I'm curious, this is a little bit off of a tangent, but do you have a routine or a tool or a habit that allows you to stay in that self-awareness cycle so that you're always figuring out, okay, this is where I'm trying to go because it's truly what I want? Do you have something that kind of helps you with that?
That's a really interesting question. Do I have a tool? I think our intuition is much stronger than we realize. And I think if we can block out the outside voices and really just be with ourselves and sit with that question, I think you should trust what comes up. Because, what I've seen with a lot of clients that I work with is they know what they want. They just sometimes don't know if they're actually good enough, or if there's too much competition, or if they actually are going to be able to do it. And I think if you feel that and you have that feeling of, oh, like, I know that, but I don't know if I can say that out loud, that that's what I want, that's what you fucking want, and you should do that.
Yeah, I love that. And even, imagining, okay, that thing that deep down I want, but almost feel bad about, more than likely, that's probably what you should go after. I think that's really good, because I think, like, I know for myself growing up, I had like a lot of, I felt guilty wanting nice things. I felt guilty if I wanted a really nice place to live, or like a really, like, spend a lot of money on something, right? So no, I think that's actually really interesting. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So let's kind of segue here into the main topic of the hour, YouTube. So now a lot of the people that are listening to this, because obviously they listen to my stuff, they know me talk a lot about Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So I first want to actually dive into who is, and I want your personal opinion. You can say whatever your personal opinion is, even if I disagree with it, that's totally fine. I absolutely love having people that sometimes have differing opinions. So my thought process is YouTube is for a specific maybe type of online entrepreneur who's really good at video. Now you might be like, no, it's good for everyone. They should just learn how to do it. So share with me why YouTube for the online entrepreneur right now.
So a couple of things you said here. First off, I love that you said, oh, well, this YouTube's for people that are good on camera and are good with video. And what I believe is, I believe, yes, there are some blessed souls that pop up and are good on camera, but most people actually aren't born good on camera. And I know I definitely wasn't one of them. And I think that was the first lesson that Kevin really taught me was that you get good at what you do. Because man, that first video I made, it was terrible. And I can remember thinking, oh my gosh, I was picking myself apart on camera, and I thought, oh, I can't do this. And over time with practice, I have gotten good at that skill. And I think that's something you can develop. And why I think YouTube is the most powerful platform versus Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the things, is because the search engine is set out to put you in front of people who are actively seeking information on the problem you solve. So most people don't go onto Instagram or onto Twitter and type in, how to lose weight, how to start a business, how to do X, Y, Z. Right. But when someone does have a problem, they go into Google, they go into YouTube, and they search specifically for that problem. And what pops up? Well, whoever's ranking on keywords. And I also think that a lot of people think that YouTube is like for people that get lucky and then have big personalities, but it's an algorithm. So if you understand how to rank videos and you're consistent on the platform, eventually you will catch a viral and you will gain subscribers if you're consistent enough.
Perfect. No, I love this. I love this. This is good. So let's before we dive into tactics on YouTube, let's go through a couple examples here. So let's say even some of the people that I work with that they're doing great. Maybe they're starting to get to a full-time income or 6 figures on Facebook or on Instagram. How do they leverage YouTube in a way that's not time consuming? Because I know back in the day when I was an online fitness coach, I tried to make YouTube videos and my wife was like, you wasted so much time. And so how can we use YouTube in addition to what, let's say, some of these people are doing that's time efficient and effective yet at the same time? Walk me through that. Because I think that is probably one of the main reasons that I didn't utilize it back then, because maybe I didn't know how to do it effectively. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are in that same boat.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that is probably one of the biggest reasons why people don't want to start YouTube channels. My answer for that would be to have a thought out content strategy for the type of content you're producing across all platforms. Because a YouTube video is a really powerful piece of content. Because first off, when you're making a YouTube video, you're going to script out what you're talking about. You can take that copy, you can turn it into a post on Facebook, you can turn it into an Instagram post, and then you can take the final video product and you can break that up into little snippets that if thought out, you can spread across through weeks of content. So you can actually repurpose that content in a lot of different ways. And if you are outsourcing the videos, you can get that done on Fiverr, Upwork. You can find someone who's in a third world country and you can get a video made for $5 or $10. And then you can have them repurpose it into 12 different pieces of content that you can use on all the platforms. So I think it's just being really thought out about what you actually are wanting to do and how you're going to content strategy.
I like it. So come up with a really great content strategy overall for all social media platforms. Okay, this is good. This is good. So now, and I like that you talked about outsourcing content, because I think a lot of people are like, I need to learn how to edit videos. When, most of the people that you work with that use YouTube what's the split actually? And maybe it's one way or more the other than I thought it was, but how many people would you say do their own editing versus outsource that, just to give a little bit of like tangibles for people?
Yeah, so, I think that it really depends on your cash flow with your business. If you are just getting started and you don't have money to spend on outsourcing, maybe you take the time to do that yourself, but once you have more cash flow coming in and your time is more valuable being spent in other places to get clients or customers, that's when I say outsource the work, when your time becomes more valuable than a couple bucks an hour and you have that to spend.
Okay, awesome. That's really good. So basically outsource when cash flow allows and when it can probably give you an ROI on the time that you save. So, okay, fabulous. Now let's dive into YouTube. So obviously someone creates a YouTube account. Do they do similar stuff as Instagram and Facebook where they try to optimize their profile? How does that look? What should they be doing when they're just starting a YouTube channel?
Yeah, so when you're first getting started, I would say, don't stress too much on optimizing the profile and having the perfect YouTube intro, make a banner photo that kind of has the simple things of what you're doing on the channel, and then just get started making videos. Find the people that are in your space selling similar types of offers and study what they have done. Look at the videos that they've used that have gone viral. Look through how they have done descriptions and really, really analyze what they have done right for their channel and how you can use that information to really get yourself going.
Awesome. I love that. So find your, and I know lots of people have different ways of doing this, but find, like, I know Russell Brunson talks about, find your 100, your dream 100 of where people are already watching who would be ideal clients. So, and I'm going to kind of run through how I would think about this. Let me know if you think through it very similarly. So you need to, number one, find these people. So my ideal client, they want to, let's say, learn how to be an online coach or make a 6-figure business. So see who's posting content on that, see what their titles are, so that which videos did the best, which ones did the worst, understanding that, so that you can basically, would you say you're kind of like copying what is doing well and basically getting in front of those same people by having videos that maybe pop up next to those. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, so I think that reverse engineering success, especially online and with YouTube videos, is a really powerful way to go about it. Now, I'm not saying go up there and copy their exact video, but really look at what they have done right and how you can do something similar for your own business as well. Because at the end of the day, again, this is an algorithm. So if one video went viral, that means that there are a lot of people that are searching specifically for that term. And you do have to do a little bit of keyword research, but a simple way of finding what's working is to see what's already gone viral.
Perfect. I love that. And that's, I mean, we kind of teach that on all platforms. And it's one of the reasons why I feel like people can succeed faster and faster, is because there's more examples. There's more people who've walked the path already, which is fabulous. So dive in with me a little bit on when you're posting content, when you're posting your videos, what are some of the key things that are going to make it easier for people to find it, maybe make it go viral? And take this from someone that I honestly don't know a lot about YouTube. I haven't really ever focused on it. We do post content on there, but so I legitimately don't know because we've never really utilized it. And so is the description really important? Is like the keywords that you're putting in, is like, what's the most important thing? The thumbnail, does a thumbnail need to look a certain way? Talk me through some of those things, how you would kind of go around them that are very tangible for people.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to bring up is the actual title of the video. So that's going to be the heaviest weight of keywords. And so you do want to make sure that you've done keyword research around the title of the video so that it is hitting on a search term that has a high search volume, meaning a lot of people are searching for it and there are not a lot of people making content. So it's low competition. High search volume, low competition. Make sure the main title of the video is really, really solid. The second thing is always going to be the thumbnail, which in my opinion might even be more important than the actual headline of the video. Because if we just think about it from a viewer standpoint, when you go onto YouTube, what do you do? What do you look for when you click on a video? The thumbnail is going to be that main piece that really catches the eye. So really, really spend time on looking at, what thumbnails interest you, what thumbnails are going viral in your niche, what are people clicking on, and then creating, again, similar types of graphics in your own style that can really hit on that. After that, making sure that, you've done your job with keyword research for the back end of the video, hitting on as many keywords, again, that are hitting that high search volume, low competition type of framework, and then optimizing the description of the video and making sure you're getting people off the platform. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm excited you said that. I want to dive into that very, very soon, because obviously, well, maybe not obviously, I shouldn't say that, but in my opinion, this seems to be the front end of your funnel. It seems to be where, I mean, you can obviously use it to nurture people, but it seems to be you're trying to get cold audience in and then obviously take an action from there. So I want to just repeat this to make sure people are getting this right and writing this down. It seems like the title is really important for when people search something that pops up. The thumbnail is what's going to draw them to click on yours versus the other ones that pop up. Is that a pretty that's a good breakdown?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, and that's, I mean, that's the case on a lot of platforms, right? You want to get people's attention, and then, I mean, you want to be obviously in front of them when they search for whatever they're looking for, get their attention by being different or whatever it is via your aesthetics. So in the YouTube videos, now, is there a specific length of video that you often go for? Because on YouTube, I mean, obviously there's many different lengths, and maybe you play around with it a little bit. But when you're thinking about length of video and purpose of video, because the purpose for the video is to obviously give something, but then also probably ask something. So walk through that a little bit as far as what you're doing in these videos, and then we'll talk about where we're sending people.
Yeah, so what I've kind of heard down the grapevine from all these creators that I've got to work hand in hand with and have millions of subscribers is that around that 7 to 10 minute video is going to be your sweet spot. But all the videos that have done really, really well for me that have, over 200,000 views, they're long tutorials that took me a very long time. They're 50-minute tutorials, and a lot of that has to do with the watch time. And that's one of the main key things about getting the video to rank higher up on the search engine is getting a lot of watch time with your videos. You want people to stay on for as long as possible. So I don't even think necessarily there's like this sweet spot. It's more like, can I keep them engaged for a long period of time? For me, my longer videos did better than my shorter videos because people were getting so much value out of them.
Perfect, perfect. And that's really good. So lots of people say that shorter time frame, but it is about, I mean, if the average amount of people watch longer than that, it's going to get ranked higher because there's more people consuming it. I like that. I like that. So now let's talk about whether it's a call to action or it's a link in description or what we're doing at the end, because I mean, obviously like a lot of things, YouTube is not something that you necessarily own at the end of the day, and we want to be getting people maybe off of it or to a next level in your funnel per se. So what are some of your favorite ways to get them off of YouTube, and what's your kind of go-to?
So I like to be really visual with my videos. If I'm telling them to click the link in the bio, I will quite literally screen share my computer screen. I'll be like, here, look, like this is where it's at.
Perfect.
And I'll show them exactly where I want them to go. And I think just making sure that you have some type of freebie or lead magnet set up that's relevant to the video that you're creating. So one of the things I teach my clients is to split their YouTube channel into 3 pillars that they're going to focus on, and then have 3 separate lead magnets set up for each pillar. So maybe you're a fitness coach and you have mindset, fitness, and nutrition. You would have a opt-in that's specific to each of those categories. That way you're not making lead magnets every day. You just have 3 main ones that you can use to get people off the platform.
Perfect. Awesome. I love that. So we have those lead magnets here at CCI. We call them value pieces. We just like, that's our terminology. And so we're getting them out to them. And then do you deliver, is that then on your email list? Are you then sending out like email blasts? Do you also then try to kind of get them onto different social media platforms? What's the flow of it all?
Yeah, so I think it depends on what my intention is with that video, because I'll do different things. For every single video, at the very beginning of the video, I'll show my Instagram handle, and I have had a lot of people come to me from YouTube. A lot of clients have found me on YouTube that came to my Instagram, and then I sold them on Instagram. But it really depends on what my intention is. What product am I selling? If I'm not selling anything at that moment, maybe I'm going to try to get them onto my email list where I'm going to nurture them and then later down the line sell them something.
Perfect.
It just depends on what I want and that.
Totally. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. And on this channel, we often talk about like the loop method and the different steps. And you're following them already as far as number 1 is build a targeted audience. Well, you're doing that via YouTube. You're getting new eyes on your stuff. The second step is always do lead gen by getting them connected to a value piece or an opt-in, which you're doing. And then different ways, probably through social and probably through email lists. You're doing the third step, which is nurturing them, building that relationship, growing that know, like, and trust. And then the fourth step, I'm sure you have a very clear at this point, I sell to people, I offer my stuff. So no, I absolutely love this. And I think that, I mean, YouTube is massive. And like you said, if you can get, actually I'm going to ask a question on this, because it seems to me like at the end of the day, you want to grow your subscription, right? You want to get more people subscribe to your videos. How important is that versus like the views on video? Are they very comparable, or is it not quite?
I think it depends on the creator. I mean, obviously the goal would be to have a lot of subscribers and get a lot of views. What I found with my channel was that certain videos would do better. And based off of performance, then I started to make more videos that were related to the videos that were going really well. So if you catch a viral, when that viral hits, you need to create a ton of content around that specific topic. And it will create a feedback loop and it will grow your channel extremely quickly. And that's something I wish I would have known when my first video was going viral, because I had no idea at that time.
Okay.
But looking back, that's how people will gain 10, 20, 30, 50,000 subscribers over a few week period, is because they're feeding into that loop. And the more views that a video gets, the higher it gets pushed up on the search algorithm. And then the more organic traffic that you get from the front page of YouTube, if you're ranking.
Perfect. Okay, that's awesome. Very, very good to know. Now, I have one kind of last tactical question on this, and then we'll tail off to some of the questions we always like to ask at the end of the podcast. So as far as YouTube goes, when do you advise, or do you ever advise people to start marketing through the paid version of YouTube, or paid marketing on there? And do you do that soon? Do you wait a long time for that? Do you just do organic? What's your viewpoint on that?
So right now I have done my business completely organically, but I've been really wanting to play into paid ads through YouTube. I've heard people have had great success with it. I haven't quite tapped into it, so I don't want to speak on it too much.
Of course.
But something I do love about paid YouTube ads is that the people are used to seeing your face, and just like any other type of platform, the more someone sees you, the more comfortable they are with you, and the more likely they are to buy. And so when you are creating videos and then you're creating YouTube ads that are also video ads, that person is really warmed up to you as a person. They know your face, they know your voice, they probably know your personality if you brought that in. And so that traffic, from what I've heard, is very, very high converting. You can make a lot of money, get a lot of sales from it.
Good to know. Good to know. No, and I'm the same way as far as organic goes. We've built our business up to the 7-figure rate without doing paid yet. So we're kind of in the same realm on our platforms anyways. Okay, fabulous. Well, this has been super, super informative. I've learned some things about YouTube. Like I said, I've just never really touched it. So I think people are going to find this extremely, extremely helpful. Now, before we ask our last couple of questions, I'm sure some people listening to this will be like, hey, I might want to hear a little bit more from Jess, a little bit more about YouTube. What's the best place? I mean, obviously there's YouTube, but I'm sure you have other social media platforms. The best place where people can connect, maybe ask some questions to you to see if, YouTube would be a good next step for them.
Yeah, so I always say the best place to find me is Instagram. My handle is @jessmore.co. It's also my website. And I do have a program coming out soon that is completely around growing your online coaching business with YouTube.
Fun.
So if you're interested in that, you can find me again at that handle, and I would love to talk to you about it more.
Fun. Yeah, no, I'm sure there's some people that are definitely interested in the YouTube route for that. So, okay, great. Well, the last question that we always like to ask people is, from your experience, what has been the mechanism that has allowed you to go from living just the life by default to being like, you know what, I want to take that steering wheel, I want to drive, I want to create this life. What was that for you?
I think it was actually a breaking point. I think it was a moment where I felt as though I couldn't do it anymore. It was like a draw the line in the sand moment. And it was when I quit that last business and I took off to Bali, and I said, I'm not going to live a life that I don't love. I'm not going to build a business that only brings me money. I'm going to have all of it. I'm going to risk it all for that one chance of everything. And it took me to get to that breaking point to where I really changed my entire life.
Right. Totally. So it was the breaking point. Maybe it was feeling enough pain, or just being like, I'm not okay with living the rest of my life this way. Was it kind of pain motivated, or what, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I think it was pain motivated for sure. It was just, me, I think, seeking fulfillment in so many different areas. And I built the business that I thought would make me happy. And then I got to that place and I still wasn't happy. And I thought, shit, I've really got to change something in my life. And I wish that I would have done it sooner.
There you go. So if you're listening to this right now and you've been thinking about it for a while, don't wait any longer. You don't want to live with that regret of, I wish I did it sooner. I wish I did this sooner. So that's amazing, Jess. Thank you very much for being on the show today. And honestly, I think a lot of people are going to find this very helpful. So thank you.
Ruben, thank you so much for having me. And you guys, thank you so much for being here and listening.
Yeah, there you go. So if you guys enjoyed this, definitely feel free to share it on your Instagram stories. You can take us at Ruben Drieger and Jess at jessmore.co. And we'll be seeing you guys in the next show. Thank you again and enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Bye for now.